This is a Ford Capri. This is a Mark II Ford Capri. Well, most of one. This is a good percentage of a Mark I Ford Capri. And this is apparently the new Ford Capri. When I first saw this showing up on the internet, I thought, absolutely not. No way, not possible. Ford would never do that to a namesake like the Capri. The brand for European Mustang. The fun, lightweight, tossable, enjoyable, reasonably reliable, economical people's car. Something that a normal Joe could buy and enjoy in all sorts of trim. You could have one that was just like a normal little drive to the shops kind of car. You could have one that's a full race car, and everything in between. They are legendary, especially outside of the United States. Legendary across the world as a fun little driver's car. There's no possible way Ford would do that. But then I was like, you know, Ford did build the Mach E and called it a Mustang when it has absolutely nothing to do with the Mustang. Yeah, Ford could do this, and they have. Unfortunately, this is a growing trend across automotive, where they take namesakes of the past and they just use the name for some particular reason for marketing, and they stick it on some kind of random vehicle that none of us really actually want. Unfortunately, Ford's kind of not necessarily the first people to this play. In fact, basically everybody's already done it. Dodge brought out the Hornet, which was a great AMC product that apparently they decided to bring back as an SUV or crossover vehicle, whatever you want to call it. Mitsubishi brought out the Eclipse, which in the 90s was a fantastic little sports car. Front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, manual transmission options, great vehicle, turbocharged, fantastic, 4G, 6.3, all the feels. For somebody in my generation, great vehicle. And then Mitsubishi brought it back as a, I don't know, crossover vehicle, I guess. It's not something anybody wants, and you're killing the nameplate of a wonderful brand that a lot of us loved. I didn't think Ford could do it, but they one-upped them. They brought out the Capri, and not only that, they brought it out in purely electric. No gasoline-powered options at all, which is truly incredible, to be honest. I don't know exactly why Ford would do such a thing. I don't know who it is at Ford that decided this is a great idea, but I promise you, it's not. It's not a great idea, and nobody wants a Capri. That's not fun. Now, the other kind of thing that's weird with this whole thing is the Ford Capri is essentially a rebadged Volkswagen, which is wild to me. I don't get it. I don't understand why you would do this. And it goes to my previous video that I made about Pontiac coming back. Pontiac bringing back a great brand and bringing back fun cars. This is my 1968 Pontiac Le Mans. It's what I really started this channel on. And it's a great car. Well, it's gonna be a great car. But Pontiac doesn't even really need to build large, fun sports cars. What they could build is small, fun sports cars. Things like this. There's a market for it. It's out there. It makes sense. Every single manufacturer, other than American manufacturers, build small, fun, useful, economically viable cars. How many cars does Honda build that are reliable, fun, and reasonably inexpensive cars? How many Camrys are sold every year? Corollas are sold every year under the Toyota brand. They sell millions of them in the United States. Ford, Chevy don't sell anything. Oldsmobile is dead. Saturn is dead. Pontiac is dead. All of those other brands are dead. And all of the actual brands that GM and Ford and Stellantis are still building are basically going away from the sports car market and leaving it to imports. BMW makes one. Everybody makes one other than the United States. All of the American car manufacturers have gone the other direction. And I think it's a symptom of a bigger problem. And I honestly get into a real big conversation with myself, which you're allowed to have conversations with yourself, about, is it a chicken or the egg situation? Are they not building them because we're not buying them? Or are we not buying them because they're not building them? Now, I remember back when the initial housing crisis happened and people were driving around in their gigantic SUVs and gas went up to the, where it was, and people decided to get rid of their Humvees and everything that got 10 miles to the gallon, and we all kind of got into the whole hot hatch thing that Europe was used to because they're used to paying reasonable prices for fuel. And we had things like the Focus and the Fiesta and the Spark and all of these other little fun cars that came out. And that was exciting. That was fun. You could buy a car. They got 45 or 50 miles per gallon. If you want to do something crazy, look up the mileage on a Honda Civic from the early 2000s. You could easily get 40 plus miles per gallon on those vehicles. Imagine what we could do today with modern technology, transmissions, and engine management. It would be incredible. You could absolutely build vehicles that people want. You could build a brand new Ford Capri that people actually want, that could be fun, that could be enjoyable, that could be reasonably inexpensive, that could compete with things like, I don't know, an M3, or a Z4 Roadster, or a Supra, or a GT86, or a 370Z. Take your pick and build it, because there's a market for it, and we're just giving it up. Instead, we're building this horrible crossover thing, hybrid with a Ford and a Volkswagen that isn't gonna sell, it's not attractive, and it's a bastardization of a beautiful brand. Now, this is my Ford Pinto race car. If you've spent any time here on this channel, you know this car. It's cool, it's interesting, it's gonna be fun. But also, if you think about it, fuel efficiency wise, this thing is pretty dang efficient, and it's a race car. Lightweight body, manual transmission, not a lot of bells and whistles, with a reasonably efficient 4-cylinder in the front. And this is literally 40 years old. Ford now makes the EcoBoost motors. They make multiple different versions of these things. They've been out for a number of generations at this point in time. They know their game. Why would Ford not build something like this with a modern fuel-injected, turbocharged 4-cylinder in it with a 6-speed manual transmission? Would easily be able to get 40, 50 miles per gallon on hyper cruise mode, but also be fun to drive. And it would be true to that Ford Capri nameplate. I don't need to have another version of a plug-in Explorer or whatever you want to call it. That's not what anybody wants. It doesn't create excitement in the marketplace. There are already umpteen versions of stupid plug-in vehicles that people don't need and aren't selling. Why would you do that? Just bring back another version of this. Now, obviously the Pinto nameplate doesn't carry a lot of positive emotion, so we can call it a Capri. I'm fine with that. This is a more than 40-year-old car, and it still has lessons to teach us. Honda built amazing vehicles in the early 2000s. Tons of vehicles that got 40, 50 miles per gallon, but that were also enjoyable to drive. They served a purpose. They were great commuter cars. They could be fun, but they were simple, reliable, enjoyable vehicles, and they were pretty damn fuel efficient. They were also not expensive. Ford, the writing is on the wall. You've already engineered it before. Just make me a new one of these. Put a 2-liter underneath the hood. It doesn't even have to be turbocharged. Put a 2-liter non-turbocharged motor under the hood that gets 50 miles to the gallon with a 6-speed in it, makes 200 horsepower. You've got the technology. It's not that hard. And build the damn thing. Price it at under $35,000 and sell them like hotcakes. Bring back some passion to the brand, because I'll be honest right now, America, not a great time in the automotive world. You guys suck. You're building terrible vehicles that nobody actually wants. The Europeans and the Japanese and the Koreans and everybody else, hell, even the Chinese, are building cooler cars than we are. We have lost the passion. We have canceled everything that's possible. All we have now left are SUVs, electric vehicles that nobody cares about, that are not fun and are not passionate, and trucks. That's it. That's what we got. America, we could do better than this. We can do better than this. The rest of the world understands the fun of little, small, enjoyable cars. America, we need to get on the ball. Ford, I don't know, guys. I'm not a fan, clearly. If you could sell me on it, Sell me on it. If you want to tag Ford in this, tag Ford in this. I would love for somebody to help me change my mind about this new Ford Capri. But to me, this is a Ford Capri. I don't know what that new thing is. Explorer Light, I guess. But it's not a Ford Capri. But Ford, there's hope. There really is. You can learn your lessons. You just got to pay attention to what you did in the past. Make it slightly better, bring it into the current, and you can do this. And we're all here to help. Believe me, if you build it, we will come. Back to the dealerships, at least. I don't know. You tell me. Am I just an old guy yelling at the clouds? Possibly. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Automotive Adventures with Austin, my own little personal corner of the YouTube internets, where I get to show off some of my own personal projects and the things that I get to enjoy when it's not work time here officially at work. My evenings and weekends and what I get to do. So let me know what you think. I already talked about it with Pontiac. Pontiac, you could bring back the driving excitement if you chose to. Ford, it's within your grasp too. It's going to take one of you guys to actually pay attention to what customers want, what enthusiasts want, or do you just not care anymore? I don't know. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Great to have you here. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.